Palestinians in Nuseirat flocked to fruit and vegetable stands, a glimmer of normalcy returning to Gaza as a truce between Hamas and Israeli forces enters a second month. But something else has returned as well. Gazans say Hamas is seeking to reassert control over aspects of life in Gaza, from regulating prices to levying fees on imported cigarettes. Its police are back on the streets, which Hamas says is needed to restore order. After the ceasefire began last month, Hamas swiftly reestablished its hold over areas from which Israel withdrew, killing dozens of Palestinians it accused of collaborating with Israel, theft, or other crimes. Ismail al-Thawabta, head of the media office of the Hamas government, said accounts of Hamas levying fees on cigarettes and fuel were inaccurate and denied raising any taxes. He said the group was focused on keeping prices down as goods began moving back into Gaza.
We
have a field plan related to consumer protection and maintaining as much as possible the relationship between merchants and consumers. However, government teams are insufficient to fully regulate the markets. Therefore, there is a relative control regarding this, controlling trade, the economy, goods, and price increases.
The reemergence of Hamas adds another level of uncertainty as U.S. President Donald Trump's plans for Gaza slowly take shape. Reith Olomari is a senior fellow at the Washington Institute.
According to the Trump 20-point plan, Hamas needs to be out of the picture, both in civilian and security sphere. And basically saying, no, we're here to stay. We cannot be bypassed. They are creating facts on the ground that will complicate the work of the international community. And frankly, the longer that the international community waits, the more entrenched Hamas becomes.
Trump's plan calls for the establishment of a transitional authority, the deployment of a multinational security force, Hamas's disarmament, and the start of reconstruction. But Reuters reported this week that Gaza's de facto partition appeared increasingly likely, with Israeli forces still deployed in more than half the territory and efforts to advance the plan faltering. Asked for comment on the Gazans' accounts, a U.S. State Department spokesperson said, quote, "This is why Hamas cannot and will not govern in Gaza." They added a new Gaza government could be formed once the United Nations approves Trump's plan. Progress has been made toward forming the multinational force, they said. Gazans continue to endure dire conditions, though more aid has entered since the ceasefire. A senior Gazan food importer said Hamas hadn't returned to a full taxation policy, but they, quote, "see and record everything." Hatem Abu Dalal owns the Dalal Mall.
Regarding taxes, until now we don't know how things are going. We heard that there are taxes on some products, but exactly how much, we haven't yet calculated any taxes or anything.
Hamas's Gaza government employed up to 50,000 people, including policemen, before the war. Thawabta said that thousands of them were killed, and those remaining were ready to continue working under a new administration.